Three for the Money is brought to you by the Trend Center app. This is the best tool for sports betting research. Okay. On the Trend Center app, you can test betting systems from the past 20 years, explore thousands of existing trends and systems from the top betting experts. Choose from hundreds of filters to test different systems for each sport. Save these trends and get notified when these systems have games. Download the app for free using the link in our description and get a free 2-week premium trial using the code TFTM. The normal free trial is 3 days. Kind of a big deal. Upgrade your sports betting research today. Okay, let's get into the show. Okay. We're here. We're back. It is Three for the Money. The Super Bowl is over. Brought to you by the Trend Center. And we're back. I switched those around a little bit. Probably should have said the Trend Center one first, but we're going to move on. We're going to move past it. We're back. The Super Bowl's over. Football is over for like 7 months, and it's not going to be fun, except for the USFL or the UFL.
UFL.
Yeah. My bad.
It's gonna be hot this year.
Yes, Chris is going to be on fire this year.
Every game.
How many teams are in the UFL?
8.
8. Okay.
They merged 4 from the or it was 5 from one, 3 from the other. I should, as the resident UFL expert, I should know that. I don't. Still in my Super Bowl hangover, but I'm still excited for it. I'm gonna bet every game responsibly, sort of.
Of course, responsibly. Speaking of Super Bowl hangover, let's quickly go over the Super Bowl. Okay. Let's go over our bets and then we'll kind of dive into the game. Does that sound all right?
Love it.
All right, cool. So I ended up going up 3 units, I believe. Man, I should have marked these before I did them. But the Chiefs winning was massive for me. I really, at the end of the day, I had over 3.5 field goals. I thought Chris Jones getting half a sack was an easy bet.
I did too, man. I
Yeah,
I thought, like, when I put that in, I was like, okay, that's a win.
yeah. I
And they
thought he
really only
would.
came close a couple times.
Yeah, that was a little brutal, but I only put a quarter unit on it. Not that bad. I threw a buck on use check first touchdown, which in hindsight kind of made me salty about that amazing play. The touchdown that Jawan Jennings threw. That was incredible. That was electric. Made me sad about that, but I don't know. Whatever. I can look past it. We're going to move on. Mahomes over 26 and a half yards rushing. That was easy. That was easy. Not a doubt. Christian McCaffrey did not get over 90 yards. That was rough. That was something that I thought would happen. That definitely did not happen.
What do you finish with?
Like 80
Oh,
because he caught like I don't know how many passes he
8.
caught, but yeah, I think he had 80 yards receiving too,
Damn.
which is kind of wild. Um, but um, Pacheco only had like 53 yards.
Hmm.
Kelsey got like his yards is over 70 and a half yards in like 3 catches. It was crazy.
Which is wild because he had 1 yard at the half. And then it was
Yeah.
like the end of the third quarter, he had 70 yards.
Yeah, that was not looking good. But it hit. Oh well. Brock Purdy, I had under 31 and a half pass attempts. He had 32 pass attempts. So,
Damn overtime.
yeah, that was brutal. but it could have been more brutal if it was over 13, over 12 and a half rushing yards, because he ended with 12 after
Hmm.
he kneeled at the half. I'm glad I didn't take that for sure.
Didn't you give that one out?
No.
I
What?
gave out
Oh,
over 11 and a half.
oh, I took
Yeah,
12, which
because
sucked.
MGM, it was kind of juice. I think it was like minus 130 or something. But I was like, because I saw all the other books, or most of the other books at least, had 12 and a half or 12, something like that. But like, if I can get, I was like, if on a quarterback, I always take the lower no matter what I can get for that exact reason, honestly. I didn't think they would win. And it's weird that you get a kneel down and they didn't win, but I didn't really even like, because he did that at the end of regulation, right? Like, to get to overtime? Or was that at the end of the half?
I think it was the end of the half.
End of the half? Okay. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I didn't really even think about it until like towards the end of the game or maybe after the game. I was like, shit, how many did he finish with? Oh, over by a half. Whew, thank God.
Damn, I don't know. Everyone was really upset about that on the internet. That was that was brutal for a lot of people. I think you lucked out there, Chris.
I got very lucky. And I bet it like that morning or the night before too. So it wasn't like I bet it like a week ago.
Wow.
So I'm very lucky I got that number.
There you go, lucky Chris.
For kinda, I guess. For this.
I had one unit on the over that pushed. I had over
Mm.
47 that pushed. I was super stoked about that. And then, of course, electric play by me. Punt down inside the 5. There wasn't a punt that was a touchback, which was kind of wild, you know?
Hmm.
Just a perfect play by the 49ers on that punt down at the 1. Electric. Um but yeah, I ended up going up about 3.5 units. Um because I had 4 on Chiefs money line, which really was the make or break for me. I wasn't really had much luck the other parts of the night, but Chris, how did you do?
I went about even on the props I gave out in terms of money. The record wasn't good because all my only quarter unit one that hit was Jawan Jennings' touchdown, which was electric. I was losing my shit when he got that. And then I was also losing my shit when he got the passing touchdown because that was over 2.5 players passing attempts.
Hmm.
And it cashed the McCaffrey over 4.5 attempt or receptions, excuse me. But yeah, none of my fun ones other than Jawan hit. Let me pull them up. Uh, yeah, kick hit the upright, never really close. And then use check touchdown, Richie James touchdown, Fat Man touchdown. None of those ever happened. Um, I am furious at myself for not betting the punt down inside the 5 because I totally forgot. Because I remember we talked about on the show, like, where did you find that? Because I couldn't find it. And I forgot that you said that. And I was like, screw it, I'm just going to bet punt for a touchback. And then it gets down at the 1. And then we're all watching together. You all going crazy. I'm like, where did you find that? And Sean was like, Will explained it on the show. Like, fuck, he did. Because I've been betting that like almost, or we all have been betting that like every year, punt down inside the 5, and it never happens. And of course, down at the 1. But yeah, Chiefs money line was huge. I had 3 units on it pregame, and then at the half, I bet them live, and I boosted it on MGM to plus 276.
Woo.
And yeah, that was nice. So I ended up having 4 units on it, on the Chiefs money line. And then uh, the next morning, my sister texted me. She was like, "Who were you for last night?" And I said the Chiefs. She was like, "I can't believe you." she, she was like,
Can't believe
"They're
I wanted
like."
to win money.
Well, I didn't tell her. I was like, I didn't tell her I had a lot of money on it, but I was just like, yeah, I bet on them. And she was like, but they were the bad guys. You're never for them. It's like, well, money's green no matter who you bet on. So yeah. Overall, I think I was up. Let me pull it up. With the Chiefs money line 4 units hitting, I was up like about 3 units, same as you will. I had a very fun Super Bowl, and it was also an incredible game, which we'll get into. Sean, how did you do?
All of my props were not good. Except for 4 of them, which was use check over 4.5 receiving yards, which he only got the ball once and cleared it, which was awesome. Jersey, a first touchdown score over 22.5. Christian McCaffrey or Juwan Jennings to Christian McCaffrey. That was awesome. I had Chiefs to win from behind at plus 215. And that was awesome. And Mahomes MVP. And I'm not going to go through the ones that I lost because most of them we've already talked about.
They're just silly ones.
Well,
other than
stuff like the over, though, I did have 47.5, which ripped my heart out. I had Brock Purdy over 12.5, which, also ripped my heart out. Kelsey 2 TDs wasn't even close. Yeah, I was just betting, silly stuff like opening kickoff to not be a touchback, which is fun to just do. Just be like, why not?
Yeah.
Just very fun.
Throw a couple bucks on it. Who cares? But
it was really funny. Just immediately first touchback or first
no,
or the opening
that
kickoff.
was not funny. Well, okay, that was funny, but then
that was funny. Losing
the
money.
friends
is not
we
funny,
were
but just
watching
your
it with, they were like, "Why would you bet on that?" And I'm like, "Because it's fun." And they're like, "Yeah, that was really fun." And I'm like, "Of course." Well, yeah, like it fucking lost. Of course, it wasn't fun. So, yeah, I do want to say I have never been more confident in a team than the Kansas City Chiefs in this Super Bowl. I had, by the end of it, I had 10, 11 units on them because I grabbed them live at plus 170 at halftime, and I put 3 more units on it. Already had 7, and I had Chiefs to win from behind. So I was up. I'm up pretty big. I think I went up like 7 or 8 units on the Super Bowl after losing more than half of my props, or 3/4 of my props, I would say. So I still went up. I still went up 7 or 8 units. Amazing game. That game rocked.
It was awesome.
Yes, let's get into that. So I'm not going to ask if where it ranks because I didn't prepare y'all for this question. So, but what do you think top 10 and like that you've seen, I guess?
Oh, yeah, no question.
Okay. If you can remember all the ones that you've seen.
I would say I don't know how many. I mean, I'd have to go back and think. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's top 10 because I obviously don't remember all the ones I've seen because I was a child when I saw quite a few of them. But ones that I can remember off the top of my head, yeah, it's definitely top 10.
Do you think it's better than last year's? Like take away like like how it ended, but like the score from last year's was what isn't it, like 35-33 or something?
38-35.
38, 30, yeah.
It was a high scoring game.
Yeah.
That game was awesome.
So
that game was awesome.
Though, yeah. But those games are hard. Like objectively, yes, the game was awesome, but I think we were all on the Eagles that year, except for you, Will. So it's kind of hard to say a game is awesome, when your team loses, if that makes sense.
It does.
But
I mean, if
yes,
I'm just thinking it,
yes,
yeah, go ahead.
objectively, that game rocked as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one was better just because overtime.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
the
it wasn't
second,
as high scoring, but like I know, like you said, take the ending out of it, but the ending is why this game was awesome. Well,
yeah,
was played a part into this game being awesome, and the
yeah,
ending to last year's was a big old wet fart. So
Yes. That yo, I haven't heard anyone say this about this Super Bowl. Like I don't know whether to say good job to the refs or not, but they kept those
I do.
flags in their pockets.
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
great.
Like I mean there was obviously a couple here and there, but like
I can't think
the
of any that were like,
what the fuck? Like
yeah,
there weren't any that were like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, like even early in the game, one of the Chiefs corners
hmm
made a perfect play um to to defend a touchdown. And that one, I can see people being like, well, he was all over him. But like, he turned to the ball. He made a play
he
on
made
the
a play
ball.
on the ball. Yeah,
Exactly. Like,
just
that's not even a ticky tack play. Like,
no,
he was
it
playing
was.
the ball.
Yeah, they were letting the boys play, and that's what you should do in a Super Bowl. And I mean, I remember last year. I mean, take away obviously the penalty at the end that sealed it, but there was a roughing the passer too. At least one I remember. I can't remember when exactly in the game was on Mahomes. That was like, what are we doing? I was like,
Yeah.
just give it to him if this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. I feel like there were a lot of penalties called in that game last year. Maybe, if I'm remembering correctly. Hopefully I am. Um, but the lack of penalties in this game, I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but I loved it. I loved that the game was just going.
Yeah, I have seen a few 49ers fans bitching on Twitter. It was like, "Oh, they didn't call any holdings and stuff like that." And I was like, "Well, what are you gonna do?"
well, I saw a thing today that the Chiefs O line hasn't given up a holding call in the past 3 Super Bowls that they've been in.
That
So,
does feel a little suspicious when you
yeah.
say that, but I couldn't think of any, and I haven't seen any people like the people who are playing on Twitter. I haven't seen any like egregious ones where it's like, yeah, I guess that's technically a holding, but like it wasn't like, how could you not call that? You know? So I
Mhm.
say shout out Bill Vinovich that his crew did awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, they say that holding is on every single play,
Yeah.
but they're only really going to call it if it's, you know, obvious.
One of the ones I've seen Niners fans complain about was one when like Bosa tried to spin, like tried to, I forget who was guarding him, but tried to do a spin move by the lineman. And like the lineman kind of just like he stopped like mid spin with his back to the lineman, and the lineman just kind of hugged him from behind. And people were like, "Well, how can you not call this? Like he's hugging him from behind." He's like, "Well, yeah, because Bosa just stopped." Like, what was he supposed to do? So, yeah, I haven't seen anything where I was like, "Yeah, that should have been called." I think that was a perfectly called game, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't really say that, a ton in the NFL these days.
Especially when the Chiefs are involved.
For sure. Excuse me. It did kind of feel a little bit weird like watching this game. Like I know that we've had like a week break in between the Super Bowl and the NFC and AFC championship games. I know we've had that for a while, but being out of football for like I guess 2 whole weeks, that was I don't know, it felt kind of weird. It was like, "Oh, there's an NFL game on. This is crazy. We don't get this." We do get this. This is the NFL season. This is the end. I don't know. Do you guys have any opinions on that, or I'm just talking out of my ass?
I
Did it
mean,
feel
I won't say
weird?
you're
Uh,
Did it feel like we
no.
like switched into like basketball mode?
I guess kinda, yeah, because that's all I had been betting on since the conference championship. But I mean, what the Super Bowl was pretty much all I was thinking about. I was like, this is the end game.
Yeah.
So it still hasn't hit me yet that football season is over. Sunday is going to suck.
Yeah. I guess because everyone's still talking about football.
Everyone's talking about it, and I'm keeping my mind busy with college basketball. And Sunday, it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way though. I don't think football season ever really ends.
It does.
As well, like
I see what you're saying.
It does.
I get what you're saying.
It's like after the Super Bowl, it's only like a month until the combine, and then we got all this like tape to watch on these guys, and then we got the draft like a month later, and then you get ramped up. Then you got like rookie practices, and then training camp starts, and then we're here. It goes by fast, but
yeah.
I do feel like football season, like I know that there's not going to be a game this weekend, and it is going to suck, but I think having that week in between got me more into college basketball and like back into the NHL, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a nice transition.
Yeah. I will say I do agree that like the NFL dominates the headlines pretty much year round. I could give two shits about the combine. I do not care.
Oh, I agree.
I don't want to watch these 19-year-olds running around in swim trunks. Like I can't even pretend to get hyped. Like unless someone does something like awesome, like breaks like a 40 record or breaks some sort of record, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it has something to do with Titans just having terrible drafts, and it's like, why should I be excited about these rookies? And that's it. Like the draft, I get more excited just for football because, like I said, the Titans, I have zero expectations until they give me a reason to have any. So,
right.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's gonna be probably like March. Well, March until like mid-March until I guess whenever the draft is, so like a month, and then after that, it's gonna be rough. Once you get into like the dog days of summer, it's like, oh man, like that's like baseball, which I love baseball, but when it's the only thing on, it's like, God, man.
Yeah, July is a very tough month to get through because after June, it's like the NBA finals are going on, the NHL finals are going on. Baseball season's just like kinda started, and they're like midway, I guess.
Yeah.
But July, it gets
July
rough.
and August.
It does get rough.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I really pay attention to the combine is when, one of these prospects does something incredible or something hilarious. Like, I don't know if you guys remember 2 or 3 years ago, some media dude was in a locker room or something and was like talking to an O lineman, and it was just like, so you have all these qualifications to play this sport professionally. What is one thing that you wish you had that you don't have? And he was like, a bigger dick. Do you guys remember that?
Vaguely, now that you say that,
Kinda,
I couldn't tell you who said it, but
I couldn't tell you either. I just remember seeing that video.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up later. That's funny.
It wasn't like a
real hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah, really.
He didn't ask what skill do you wish you had to play football better? It was, what do you wish that you had that you don't have? And he was like, a bigger dick.
There's no like he's a dude. Like,
yeah. And it's like, I mean, shit, he ain't lying.
Yeah.
Not all of us can be Drake.
I was gonna say, I think everyone but Drake kind of thinks that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Other things about that game, it just seems that the Chiefs are inevitable. Patrick Mahomes and the Red Kingdom are here to stay.
They're gonna win again
Unfortunately.
next year.
It's
Yeah.
so ominous.
Well, they are. Like, they're gonna
Yeah.
get better. They're gonna get weapons on offense. They're not just gonna run it back with Kadarius Tony.
Yeah.
They're gonna get some guys. Their defense, I mean, maybe their defense will take a step back just because it's hard to be that dominant again. They're gonna
If
win again.
if they three-peat, then they might
More
be
power. Like they,
like one of the best to do it. Like they'll probably be like
yeah.
maybe the best to do it.
I mean, hasn't been done since Tom. So
Nobody's three-peated.
oh yeah, Tom. He won 3 and 4 years. Was that it?
Yeah.
Or 3 and 5, 3 and 4,
Or
something
three.
like that.
I don't know. Can't remember.
Damn. Yeah. So yeah, if they
Like,
three,
it's just, I mean, if they do it, then
more power to them.
yeah, I mean, fuck, like I would want that too, I guess, if that was my team. It's just like, man, I wish our team had Patrick Mahomes
Wish our team had just arguably the greatest quarterback of all time just fall into our laps. Well, I guess they
and
traded up to get him, but
a top 10 defense.
yeah, must be nice.
Yeah.
One of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Yeah. Must be nice for that to fall in your hands in the third round.
We can
But
talk about Shanahan.
yeah, listen, Kyle Shanahan. I've said it since the beginning of this show. He poops his pants in the big game, and is that because he played Patrick Mahomes? Maybe. He's only played Patrick Mahomes in the big game in the Super Bowl. So those are the only times, really. I mean, he shit his pants before, if we're talking a total amount of pants shitting, but yeah.
Playing Patrick Mahomes doesn't make you not know the overtime rules
Yes, that was that
or
they
not teach your team apparently he knew because he wanted the ball third, but no, like a lot of people on his team didn't know the overtime rules, so
Which is
he
like,
didn't coach them.
I saw all those interviews where it's like, yeah, we didn't know the rules, and I'm like, I know the rules.
Yeah, we were sitting there.
How do you not know the rules? Like I
didn't know
know
the rules.
I know the new overtime rules, like not to a T, but like I understand that. Yeah, it's not the first team to score. Like they get the ball back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't I mean, I knew that they got the ball back no matter what, but I didn't know fully the rules. I mean, I read them once after they changed it, but then I was like, okay, this information's out of my brain now.
You knew more than Kyle Juszczyk then,
Yeah, I
because
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
that's the
like there's
thing.
the
Like,
video of him like on the field going out for kick return, being like they get the ball back, like no matter what. Like I just found that out watching they put the rules on the scoreboard or on the jumbotron, whatever. He's like that's how he found out about that, which that is incredibly dumb that he just didn't know that as a professional football player. But also like Shanahan, you gotta like you're the head coach. You gotta coach your guys.
yeah, I wasn't, saying that these guys should know the rules. Like it is Shanahan's responsibility to teach them these rules. Just because I know them doesn't mean that he should Shanahan should have just assumed that they knew the rules.
Yeah,
So that's pretty negligent on Shanahan's part. But I mean, even before that, like he cannot win a second half.
no,
He can't do it. Like
Not when it counts.
blowing two double-digit leads in the Super Bowl is insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's and like they're even at a point
where they don't know, like, how can you improve on this team? You know, they have dogs really at every single position. I mean, I guess they could. I mean, I know they had that like middle linebacker that went out with an injury early in the season, but
Yeah, that Samoan dude, and
yeah,
then Greenlaw got hurt in the game. But it's still like you got, like you said, you got dogs at every position. You have the best on paper, the best offense in the National Football League. Just stop choking, man. Like I'm rooting for him, but I don't know, man. I don't know if he's ever gonna get one.
yeah, it's tough. And like, to be quite honest, I don't think that the the 49ers in essence lost this game. I think that the Chiefs won this game. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, they
I
lost the
get
game, but like I don't think that the 49ers lost the game.
I get what you're
This was more
saying.
of a Chiefs win, I guess.
I get what you're saying. I disagree just because they were up to nothing at halftime and they chose to get the ball first in overtime.
Yes.
If it was tied at halftime and like if they did everything right and lost, then yeah, I'd say the Chiefs won. But no, they lost. Like I get what you're saying, but I think that they blew it.
Yeah. It was Oh, I mean they blew it, like for sure. Like no argument there. It's just more of like
It's just
if
Patrick Mahomes being,
yeah, like I put
like you
more
said, inevitable.
yes, I put more credit
Yeah.
into Patrick Mahomes being outstanding and the Chiefs being the Chiefs that we know, and then like I guess the Niners choking this away. And I know they did choke it away, but it's less on them choking and more on the Chiefs being the Chiefs. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just my take.
I think it's on the Niners, but that's just me. I get what you're saying, definitely.
Yeah. It it just feels like with I guess with the exception of that special teams fumble, uh which was absolutely brutal. Like
That was rough.
I think that's really what the game came down to. Like
I mean, yeah, when you kind of look back at it,
yeah, like the Niners were in the driver's
I mean,
seat.
yeah, just the one of the most
Yeah.
unfortunate bounces you can get. The punt just lands on a guy's heel, and they pretty much just give him a touchdown.
Yeah. At that
That
point,
was
it's like God wanted.
God reached down.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's Chiefs. You've had your fun.
Yeah. So that's kind of the way I see. And I mean, like that game was tight. Like
Oh yeah,
up until that, and even after that, like
yeah.
after they got the special teams fumble recovery, it was like it was still tight after they scored the touchdown. And I
Yeah.
mean, like it's Patrick Mahomes in the red zone. Like they only scored, was it? Well, it was 3 touchdowns, I guess, when you look back at it. But I mean, 2 touchdowns in regulations, in
Yeah.
regulation, like that's pretty damn good. For only
From a
for
defensive,
Patrick
yeah,
Mahomes,
yeah,
like
that's true.
it's just I don't know, makes you think.
Yeah,
That's
I don't,
kind of one.
I am beginning to question if Shanahan's ever going to win one because he has been so close. And I will say he waited to poop down his leg until the last possible moment this season, but he still did it.
Yeah,
So I don't. I mean, I'm rooting for him. I am, but I'm beginning to wonder if he's ever gonna win one.
Yeah, it feels like the only way he's gonna win one is if he eventually coaches the Chiefs and or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Well, even if like say like next year the Chiefs don't and the Niners do. Okay, who is going to make it from the AFC? The Bengals, the Bills, the Ravens. Like these are still really fucking good football teams. It's not like it's like, oh, as long as we get past like as long as we don't play Mahomes, we got it. It's like, nah, you still got a gauntlet in the AFC, regardless of who comes out.
That's true. I feel like I don't know. I feel like if it was anyone but the Chiefs, the Niners could have won that game.
They still could have won that game.
I know, and I still feel
I
like
agree.
if it was anyone but the Chiefs, they could have got it. But it's just he's inevitable. Like there's not a better word for it than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It and he's 28.
Don't. I'm turning 28 in like 2 weeks.
I am 28.
I am.
Ah,
Never mind. We're not even
47.
We're yeah. At the ripe age of 47 years old.
Yeah. It's just I mean, statistically he's the GOAT at this point in his career, which is kind of depressing. But also like I don't know.
We just went
It-
from one reign of terror with the Patriots to another almost immediately.
Yes.
It was very well timed. Because I mean they fucking played each other.
Yeah, it was.
And
And
it
I
was
mean, I
just
know
like
Mahomes never beat Brady, but at least
Yeah.
in a game that mattered. But yeah, it's. I wanted to like just give me a break in between dynasties, but
I mean
guess
there
not.
will always be a dynasty.
I know, but I wanted like a 5-year window. I
Yeah.
think we maybe got 2.
Just
Yeah.
5 years where every single Super Bowl winner is different. Wouldn't that be crazy?
I can't even picture that.
Has that ever happened?
I'm sure like back in the
Yeah,
90s, maybe,
I'm sure.
where there
I don't
wasn't
know, man.
like multiple in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably at some point.
Okay.
You see.
I don't know.
I would be very surprised if there wasn't.
Yeah.
I haven't found a more than 4 years in a row. Cause like there's so many teams that have always dominated, like the Dolphins in the 70s and the Steelers.
Yeah. So
And then you get into like the Cowboys and and then
Yeah.
soon enough you're in the Tom Brady era. And then
So-
now we're here.
so there's not like a 5-year period where someone's repeat or someone hasn't repeated. It's kind of
No.
wild. Well, wouldn't that be
1,
awesome if
2,
just 5
3.
years was just completely different teams winning the Super Bowl every year?
Maybe when Mahomes retires.
When I'm dead?
He's not gonna play that long. We're the same age as him.
Oh, there
I
is.
guess you're right.
I'm sorry. There's one.
Oh, okay.
1969 to 1973, it went Jets, Chiefs, Colts, Baltimore Colts, Cowboys, Dolphins, and then the Dolphins repeated.
I remember those days well.
Yes,
Yeah.
I as well, being a 47-year-old man.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
But I mean, do we have anything else on the Super Bowl?
No.
I don't think we
Hey.
do.
Jason, this is not about the game, but Jason
Oh
Kelce.
God, let's get into it.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Dude, he was obliterated at the after party.
video of them when they were about to leave. Like Travis is putting the jacket on Taylor, and they're like, their whole crew's like going down the escalator or some stairs. You just see Jason,
He's
loose
just
door mouth, just About to fall into a bush.
With like a luchador mask on too, still
So
carrying a drink.
funny.
God, that man was obliterated. Travis wasn't even like that, and he just won the damn thing.
Yeah, like Travis was like partying, but yeah, Jason, I think he had a way more fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
God. Because he was
Yeah.
at that nightclub, and that DJ Marshmallow was the one that was playing, and he was just up on like the booth, just like in his luchador mask, just going after it. And you see like Taylor and Travis just kind of like, slow dancing, and
then he's
you just pans over, and Jason Kelsey's just like with
He's
his
next
freaking
to Marshmallow in a luchador mask.
in these like fucking overalls.
Oh, God.
I saw a clip from the New Heights podcast, the Kelsey podcast, and they were talking about that, and he said he just found the luchador mask on the ground.
On the floor of a nightclub.
Yeah, and he
I
Perfect.
like
put
to
it on.
party. I like to party. I would never fucking do that. That is so gross.
It's very easy for you to say
I guess that's true.
that you aren't
Do
in
you
an
think-
altered state of mind.
there is definitely a chance. I take that back. I probably wouldn't, but there is definitely a chance.
Do
I
you
don't know,
think
man.
that he partied that hard when he won his Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
he might have
get-
just been like,
I feel like if you're a
Drained.
center, I think you're a guy's guy.
Yeah.
oh
I
no, don't.
no,
I'm
I
saying
I
agree
he
think
with
you're
you.
partied,
100% for the boys.
He
No,
definitely
I
yeah.
think
partied,
you're giving it
but
all.
I
I think you're giving it all.
he definitely partied. But I feel like after that, after like they just won, I feel like you got to be exhausted on some like this year. He hadn't played a football game in over a month, so he's had time
Yeah.
to rest.
He was
and-
fucking ready to go.
oh yeah,
like,
I mean,
That's
but-
very true.
he definitely got after it, got a little banged up, but
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he
Yeah.
was out there at nightclubs putting luchador masks on.
No, yeah. Well,
I think
like,
that's very true. That's a factor I think people don't think
Yeah.
about.
to me,
I
I
will
was
say-
like, to me, well, like when I saw it, which makes me think that he didn't, was just kind of like, he's retiring. This is like his party for like his NFL career as well. Like
Yeah,
his like the 2023-2024 season is over.
that's
I'm
true.
officially retired. So I'm going to go, and my brother just won the Super Bowl. I'm going to
Yeah.
go as hard as I can.
Yes, if you think about it, for him, like I guess retirement sort of evolution at the end of this season, this is the second best scenario for him personally, if you think about it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, maybe it could be the best. Could be the best scenario. I mean, obviously you want to go out winning the Super Bowl, but if you think about it, like you said, if you win the Super Bowl, you're probably fucking exhausted. You're probably like banged up, not in an alcohol sense, but like physically banged up. Especially if you're a center, being at the bottom with a tush push, they'd probably, assuming that it would have worked if they had won the Super Bowl, he probably would have done that a couple of times.
at least.
He probably would have been not injured, but hurt, maybe.
So do you guys
So-
think he's gonna retire?
I mean,
Yeah, that was more or less what I was getting at. Like, I'm like 2023-2024 season is over. I am retired
Yeah,
because their podcast does really well, and yeah, I think it's definitely gonna suck, but I think it is time.
yeah.
mhm.
Like,
I get it.
he can't go another season on a tush push like
Yeah,
play style.
that's
Mhm.
true. I mean, I definitely get it. The only thing where I thought it was going to be more, I would say more likely, before the game, I was like, Travis Kelce might retire after this. On like right off into the sunset with his 3 rings and his perfect fucking life. And and then Travis retires, and then Jason Kelsey, they announce it together essentially. Because I think, well, I think Jason's definitely going to retire because Travis said he was coming back.
Mm.
But I thought they were going to retire because they wanted to go in the Hall of Fame at the same time.
Oh yeah,
And
they
the
would
only way
definitely
that
be
could,
first ballot as well.
yeah, they're both first ballots, so the only way
Yeah.
that can really happen is if they retire together. But maybe they just don't care about that as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good theory. I think along with Jason Kelsey retiring, I believe he's made a boatload of money over the past 3 or 4 years signing these like 1 year deals. Because I was, one of the times we were over at our friend Jimmy's place, our Eagles fan friend, and he said that like Jason Kelsey has made more money in the past 4 years than all the other years combined, playing center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I
I
just
think he
pulled up
told
his.
me that.
I mean, I can't find like a year by year breakdown, at least not off. I'm sure I could dig for it, but that's not entertaining. It just says over his 11-year career, he's made over 80 million.
Yeah,
So he's good. He's good.
yeah.
And this
For a
podcast
center,
is,
that's
yeah,
great.
this podcast is just gonna be a money making machine. So
Yeah,
his his grandkids will never have to work.
Oh,
yeah,
but
it'll be.
ooh, Chris, think about this though for a marketing thing for the NFL. If Jason will get into the Hall of Fame before Travis, so he's going to be the one to give Travis the gold jacket.
They induct each other.
Yeah. Well, like he shows up like at his crib, like gold jacket on.
Like to announce it.
Yeah, to announce that So there's another little marketing thing that
that'd be
NFL is going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Well, I mean, yeah, whenever they go in, they're gonna milk the shit out of it.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think that's a reason why they won't go in. They won't retire together.
Yeah. If I was Travis, I'd retire. What the fuck else you got to play for?
They want a three-peat.
3 ring, like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but I mean, shit. I wouldn't risk like a serious injury playing one more year after you've done everything you can do in the sport.
Yeah. Well, Gronk did it. Gronk had 3 and then came back and then got 4.
And like broke his back.
Yeah. And then retired immediately.
Yeah.
Maybe Kelsey wants 5.
I mean, he'll
Which
probably
would be
get
awful. It would
It'd
be
be
awful
crazy
for
to have more
everyone
than...
else who is not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Yeah.
I don't like him. So
Yeah, he's
like it's not that I'm like the Taylor Swift hater thing. I hated him long before. Like I hated him before Patrick Mahomes was in the league. I hate that guy. Excuse me.
I wasn't watching football much really kind of before Patrick Mahomes was in the league. Not that there's any correlation between the two, it's just the timelines kind of match up. But like, how good was he before?
I mean, he was really good. The only reason the Titans beat the Chiefs in that one playoff game is because Cyprian knocked him out of the game. Because he was dominating that. Yeah. I mean, he was dominating that first half. We couldn't stop him. Cyprian knocked him out of the game, and we won. So, but he's always been good. He's always been a hothead and a jackass, in my opinion. On the field, I've never seen him getting in trouble or anything off the field. But I just think on the field, he's a jackass.
Yeah.
Chris, what is your opinion on chasing Kelsey?
Oh,
you remember
that dating?
that?
I never saw that.
What a ridiculous thing to have happened.
Can I stream that somewhere? I might.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That might be some clips on YouTube or something.
God, that's got to be so bad.
I've never seen anything from it. I totally kind of forgotten about it, I guess.
Whenever I
heard
see him,
it was bad.
he whenever I see Travis Kelce, I kind of think of that because I just picture him with hair, and he's got like a ridiculous
Oh,
haircut in the
like
show.
yeah, where it's like nothing here and then
Yeah.
but long on top. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like Jimmy Neutron, honestly, like the
On it, and it had
hairstyle.
like the same little like flip up
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it too.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude, that's
That's funny.
I don't know
I,
who watched that show, but
I think it only lasted a season, so probably not many people.
well, and he obviously didn't find love until this year, so I don't know how long they could have kept this show going, to be honest.
Imagine if Taylor Swift went on Chasing Kelsey.
Damn, just imagine if he had like met someone on that show and they actually got married, and this never would have happened.
That'd be crazy.
Would he be as good?
Who's
That's
to
another
say?
thing to think
If
about.
he had a life that was
Yeah,
completely different.
Normal,
who's to say?
normal in every way. Oh, well,
Oh,
moving on from commenting on people's personal lives, do we have anything else to add? I mean, what else is going on right now? I mean, I know that officially since this was over, it's now draft mode. If you don't
Sure.
count, college basketball, but which we do here at the Three for the Money podcast. But I mean, I meant to reach out to our NBA friend, but I totally forgot.
Oh
And
yeah,
also it's Valentine's Day.
we missed the preview.
Yeah, I'll probably reach out to him. Maybe
Do it for the
maybe today.
playoffs.
Maybe
Okay.
today. Maybe he'll get back to me. On Valentine's Day. Probably not. It's Valentine's Day.
Maybe
What
just
day
do
is
it
it?
tomorrow.
Yeah, I could just do it tomorrow. Because tomorrow's not Valentine's Day.
Tomorrow is not Valentine's Day.
But yes, let's see what else is going on in the sports world. I'm trying to sort of get back into college basketball, so I know what I'm doing the first round of the of March Madness, because that's always a clusterfuck for me. So with the help of our buds on the Trend Center app, I'm trying to get back into college basketball. I recently updated my Barstool app, so now it's ESPN Bet, and I had $20 in there. So now I'm just using that book as a just where I put my my Trend Center bets.
So a farm.
Yes. I'm going to farm money with ESPN Bet. And unlike Christopher, I will be checking it after the pod instead of during.
Sorry,
And
Youngstown
making
just
groans.
lost by the hook. So
Who?
Youngstown State
Okay, well,
out of minus 10.5, they lost, or they won by 10.
damn. That stinks.
Yeah,
How does that make you feel?
bad, mad, pissed off.
How about you talk about that?
I don't want to. I'm mad.
All right.
I want to talk about my feelings.
How does that make you feel? So I mean, I'm just using ESPN Bet as a farming, I guess, system for my wallet, if you will, using the Trend Center app. The great folks. But yeah, what Chris, our resident college basketball expert, I'm going to put you on the spot. Say something about college basketball.
I mean, this is the best time of year to get into it. It's conference play. I mean, there's 5-ish regular season games left for most teams. And then we get into conference tournaments. and then that takes us into the big dance, as they call it. So yeah, this is the best time to get into it, honestly. If you're a casual, I mean, if you haven't been doing it since day one, but yeah, I'm trying to look up. I know Tennessee has roughly 5 games left, and that's what I'm basing it on because most teams will have they play on most of the same amount of games. So Tennessee plays tonight, not counting that 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, never mind, 7 left. So not quite as close to the end as I thought, but yeah, this is great. I mean, it's been a shit show this year. Other than UConn, every number one team has lost. Like as the number one team, UConn lost earlier, but I don't think they were number one when they lost. Yeah, it's wild. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun.
Okay, so there's not really like a undefeated team.
There are no undefeated teams. I think UConn is the best team in the country right now. Uh, I don't know if they'll repeat just because that's so hard to do in college basketball. But I think they are head and shoulders the best team in the country right now.
Okay. Has anyone ever repeated?
Yeah,
college
Florida did
basketball?
it 07, 08, around that time. Those my I think it was those years. If not, it was around that time, early 2000s. Yeah, those teams were stacked. They had Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer. Those teams were loaded. Yeah, I mean, I could see UConn doing it because, like I said, I think they are the best team, but it's so hard just because the tournament is a shit show every year.
Yes. Anything can happen in the dance. And that's why we do it, folks.
It's gonna be so. I'm so excited.
I can't
Yes,
wait.
I'm also very excited
to-
because I need something to look forward to.
I can't wait to bet the money line from whatever team is from New Jersey in the first round. They always be upsetting, like Princeton last year,
Yeah,
and
St. Pete
St. Pete, yeah,
year
made
before
it to the elite. The what?
Elite Eight.
Yeah, the Elite
and they
Eight.
got dog walked by North Carolina. I'm just
Dougie Buckets.
tip for any college basketball casual bettors out there. Whoever Purdue plays, just bet their money line because Purdue always chokes. I mean, they lost to a 16 seed last year and a 15 seed the year before. I'm not saying they're going to lose the first round again, but if you bet against them both years, you're sitting pretty.
Yeah, man. Was it did they lose to FAU? Is that what it was?
Nah, FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson.
Oh, yes. Fairleigh Dickinson.
And they have a 7'5" monster on their team. Purdue does, and they still couldn't beat them.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I mean, I remember watching that. I think I had I had FDU because
I had spread, yeah.
FDU spread. Because it was like 30.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And I don't know what
I was watching it. I remember I was at Longhorn Steakhouse. I was watching it.
Ah,
It was awesome.
classy establishment.
As I said, I was like going for a 5-star dinner. I was
I
saying
know,
it's
I'm
going
joking.
out for to eat.
I'm joking.
where the broads hang out.
Yeah. Oh, he'd
fucking
have to go to
best.
Chili's for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
But
bitches
yeah,
are
so,
dripping off the walls.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, whoever plays Purdue first round, sprinkle money line, just because it's happened.
Funsies.
Could it be 3 years in a row they get bounced? Because they're probably going to be a 1 seed this year. So it would be the craziest thing in the world to lose a 16 seed 2 years in a row. And even if they win, they're going to be heavy favorites in their next game. So sprinkle that money line as well.
Yes. So, Chris, I have a college basketball question. So let's just say someone doesn't know how teams get into the tournament. So, are there multiple teams from each conference that are in the tournament?
Not each. They're like a lot of the smaller ones, like the SoCon, the SWAC. There's like a lot of the Horizon League. You have to win your conference tournament to get in.
Okay, so like
Those are like the one bid leagues. The teams that
so
just are fed to like the powered schools in the beginning of the season, and then like just win their conference games. They will whoever wins their tournament will get in. Like that's how FDU got in. That's how St. Pete got in the year before, and it's like teams like that. Princeton last
Okay.
year.
but like the big boy conferences like the SEC,
Yeah.
are there multiple SEC schools?
Oh, SEC will probably have like 5 this year.
What is
maybe
the
more, dude.
criteria for that?
Maybe
you have to have
more.
a certain amount of quad 1 and quad 2 wins, which that means quad 1 I believe is top 15 teams. I couldn't tell you exactly what quad 2 is. But yeah, it's judging based on like the strength of your wins and not losing to like terrible teams. Because like right now, Kentucky, as of right now, as a recording, they're not looking great because they've lost 3 straight home games, and like they still have a tough schedule to go. They'll be fine because they are on paper a very good team. But if they drop a few of these like games against good teams, they don't really have a whole lot of good wins to hang their hat on, and they lost at home to UNC Wilmington in the beginning of the season. I'm not saying they're gonna miss the tournament, but it is a non-zero chance they miss the tournament.
Non-zero.
It's probably like a 5% chance, but I hope they do. But as an unbiased, because because Kentucky lost to who did they lose to? South Carolina last week. Yeah, I think it was South Carolina. There I see. Since I shit talk so many Kentucky fans on Twitter, I get a lot of them just in my feed. And there's one guy who was like, "We could legitimately miss the tournament because they do have a gauntlet coming up." But I think they'll be fine. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, that's long-winded answer, I guess, to answer your question.
So it's more of like not necessarily like if you're like a top 15 team, you're making the tournament.
I mean,
But
if you're a
it's more
top
of like
15 team, you're making the tournament because you've had enough wins to get you there. If you're
Okay.
if you're ranked, you're making the tournament.
Okay.
Unless it's like, I remember like I think it was MTSU. Couldn't tell you what exactly year it was. It was our sophomore year at college. Will, or no, it was our junior year because it was the year after. Oh, shit. It
Are
was
you talking
sometime
about
in
Michigan State?
No. It was like
Oh.
2 years after that because the next year they beat Minnesota. I think it was 2 years after that. They were ranked going into the conference tournament, but they lost in the first round. And there were a lot of people were like, "Oh, we could still get in because we were ranked." But yeah, lost in the first round of the conference tournament. We didn't get in. So it's kind of a fickle bitch.
Okay. So it's not a perfect science, but it is.
Yeah, unless you're like a team like that, like a smaller school team who was like ranked in the 20s, and you don't win your conference tournament, then yeah, you're pretty much a lock to make it.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else. Do y'all have anything else in the sports world you want to talk about? Any hot takes?
No.
Okay, well, I guess we'll
I'm
end it
trying to
then.
think.
I mean,
no.
I
Not
no.
one off like the top of my
Off the
dome.
rip, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that we don't have the NFL to talk about, it's we're
We're
on our own,
talking
kids.
ball, you know.
Yeah. Just
But
gonna
no,
be talking ball.
I don't have any hot takes off the dome.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll shut her down. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We really appreciate it. Check out the Trend Center app. I will be exclusively betting Trend Center bets on one of my books for until the tournament, probably. Just to kind of familiarize myself with
with the college basketball world and what's going on. I did bet against Tennessee tonight because that was a trend center play.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Tennessee's not very good on the road, so
Didn't they just drop a game to A&M?
yeah. That was Tennessee's not good on the road. Arkansas sucks, but you never know what happens. Also, they're playing down there. It's weird, so never know what happens. Never know.
Yeah, Arkansas.
If we lose, I will be very upset. But yeah, I think it'll be close, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only reason I know that Tennessee dropped a game against A&M is because I was on the phone with my dad and he was just cursing at random points during our conversation.
Oh yeah, that was on Saturday. They A&M could not miss.
Yeah.
It was brutal, but
yeah, he said that in between a bunch of curse words. So that is the only reason why I know that. But but yes, check out the Trend Center app. Great tool for betting college basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL. When it comes back, in 7 months. But yeah, it's if you gamble, you probably watch this show, probably.
you should.
Yeah, you should at least. Check it out. Link in our bio. 2-week free trial. Normal free trial is 3 days. Great tool. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Any way you interact with this, it really helps us out. And that's going to be it. We'll see you next week. Maybe I'll talk to our NBA guy. Maybe I'll have some NBA insight. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see you next week. There's 3 of us. Now let's make some money. Woo!